It's playoff time on Munger Vision. You're looking at Amanda Lee. She'll be in the circle as Mill River, the 5th seed, hosting Windsor, the 12th seed, and this is a very deceptive Windsor team. They are much better than the 12th seed, and this could be a big bump in the road for Mill River on their way to the deeper into the playoffs. Caitlin Curtis will bat first, followed by Haley Dunn and Amber Heath, and I'll set that Mill River defense for you in just a minute as first pitch of the 2010 softball playoffs on the way will be strike one. It was just about 3 weeks ago today that these exact two teams met here at Mill River on a Saturday afternoon, and Mill River coming away with a 2-1 win. And that's going to be a shot down to Camo to first to Pritchard, and they'll have the hard hit ball on a 4-3 ground out. Both teams vastly improved over the next 3 weeks. Haley Dunn up now with one out. But one thing I can recall, because I videotaped and called that game between Windsor and Mill River, Windsor left a lot of people on base in the first 4 innings, unable to get that timely hit, and that's going to be a foul ball. And on the flip side, why do I think that this is a better than a 12th seeded Windsor squad? Remember, they lost their starting pitcher, Caitlin Curtis, in the middle of the season to mononucleosis. The game here 3 weeks ago was the first time she came back since that mono and pitched extremely well. Mill River's got to do a couple things offensively today. That'll be fouled off for strike two. Mill River swung at a lot of pitches that were out of the strike zone against Curtis the last time these two teams met. They helped her out quite a bit. She threw a changeup an awful lot, and they've got to be sitting on that. That's going to be a little number down to third, and there's Mangan with the throw to first, and she'll be safe as getting it down the line was done, and she was moving. That was a tough play all the way around for Mangan right there. That'll unofficially go as an infield single. Now Amber Heath up the shortstop. That's Pritchard, Madeline Pritchard over at first base. Casey Camo's at second. Michaela Maneri's at short. Melissa Mangan is at third. And Sarah Brown behind the plate doing the catching. And they fake the steal, and everybody kind of settles down now. In the outfield, you have Taryn Redenis in right field. Casey Dambrakis is in center, and Haley Kachupi, the left fielder. And I already mentioned Amanda Lee in the circle with a strike there on the outside corner. Lee was very effective in that first meeting, obviously, since she held Windsor to 1 run. But I think this is going to be a very tight, competitive ball game. And that's going to have a chance to drop in. Will it be a 9-3 ground out as they'll bobble it around and they'll throw in? And at second base, they will call her out, as I'm not sure why Dunn hesitated going to second. So Heath will be on first base with 2 down. And a nice play. I'm trying to think of who covered the bag. I believe it was Camo. That's a force out at second base. Now batting in the cleanup spot, Courtney Rochon. So Rochon up there. And a strike called. They get on that play. You play, you had to wait and see if it was going to be caught. I understand that. It was a little flare. You had to play it halfway. But the ball laid on the ground a long time. Remember, Redenis bobbled it, and they still were able to throw the runner out done at second base. So 2 outs as Mill River trying to get out of this inning with a scoreless ball game. And again, Lee's, ever since the start of last year, when she assumed the starting pitcher's role, has she's gotten better. And I still think, though, if I'm Mill River, that's a base hit coming through, and that'll be bobbled by Dambrakis, and they're going to hold the runner at third base on the corner. So runners at the corner now with 2 down. As Courtney Rochon comes up with a single, now Alicia Cowdrey up. And again, you know what I think about this situation? First and third, I don't care if there's 2 down, you've got to send that runner from first to second on the steal. It's the playoffs. You've got to make things happen. You've got to be aggressive. Oh, great pitch. Called a strike. As we've seen throughout the year, too, Brown behind the plate has just gotten better as a catcher spot. And she's been throwing down to second base. Just give her an A+. That's going to be foul, tipped off the end of the bat, back to the screen. And I don't think my camera can pick it up, but the Mill River squad dyeing their hair red and blue overnight. And it is, in person, it's quite a scene. Pitch coming. Lee will roll in the dirt. You can see again Brown making herself big behind the plate. Will knock the ball down. Runner stayed at first. So playoff time, you know what that means? One and done. You lose and you go home. I think it was a tough draw for number 5 seeded Mill River, and just missing that outside corner. I think it actually was low, probably got the corner. Mill River, though, coming off some of their best softball of the season. And think back to the Seniors Day game here. Leland and Gray, who finished 4th seed above Mill River, losing 11-4 to Mill River. And that will go off from the knee of the catcher, and the run will score. And there's the ball just coming back. Now they'll throw to third, and that's going to be backed up nicely by Katrupi. So Windsor will pick up a run on a Mill River mistake. And Katrupi, nice job of backing that throw up, not allowing the second run to come in. So Amber Heath will score. And Roshan will end up at third, and Cowdrey, as I missed the pitch, I was doing my book, will draw the walk. Mill River's biggest enemy all season long has been Mill River, as Kibling up there now with 2 outs, 1 run in. So Windsor in those bright yellow uniforms. Hey, Mill River in their red, and postseason as of late has fouled straight back, has not been kind to Mill River. But thinking back to that Leland and Gray win on Seniors Day here, probably the best defensive performance turned in by Mill River all season long that I have seen. Fouled off for strike 2. Tell you what, Windsor going up there getting some good rips at these pitches. As Kibling at the plate, Michaela Esty on deck for Windsor as they've gone into the middle of the order here, the number 6 batter. And a strikeout will end it, but Windsor able to pick up an unearned run, and it'll be 1-0 at a half inning of play on Munger Vision. As you watch, Caitlin Curtis taking her final warm-up. Like I said, she pitched extremely effective. In the first game, had a couple hard luck runs, unearned runs scored against her. But from what I reaffirmed today in the dugout, she just came back from a bout of mononucleosis, so you expect today that she wouldn't be as rusty, and as her endurance should be better. There'll be Michaela Maneri, Amanda Lee, and Casey Dambrakis up for Mill River on their home turf, down by a run here in the bottom of the first, scheduled for 7. I don't believe we'll see the mercy rule, but strike 1. Rise ball, couldn't catch up to it. Talking to the assistant coach, JoJo Valenti, before the game, she saw a lot of improvement through the season in her team, and she was talking about, strike 2 there, she's talking about when they swing at strikes, their batting average percentage goes sky high. Can't be chasing balls out of the strike zone. Of course, that's easier said than done. And there's the changeup. We saw a lot of that from Curtis in the first ball game, as she probably threw the changeup 33% of the time. That's a lot for a changeup in softball. And that's going to be a chance for, no, they won't get the 9-3 ground out as the ball was bobbled. So that'll be a base hit and a single in the leadoff spot for Mill River by Maneri. And now Amanda Lee batting in that number 2 spot, coming up for the Minutemen. And they have been aggressive on the bases all season long, and I don't really expect that to change here in the playoff game. Holly Heath doing the catching. Shows bunt, went to bunt it up, and that'll be a little blooper foul. It'll roll down to the edge of the Windsor dugout, and they'll just send Maneri back to first base, and we'll wait for the pitcher Lee, or the batter Lee in this case, to pick up the bat. On deck will be Casey Dambrakis and Katrupi in the cleanup spot. Just a beautiful afternoon for softball for Mill River Union High School. There goes the runner to throw down, and no tag. Nice slide, able to avoid it, and she will be safe down there on a heads-up play by Maneri. A good throw down from Heath, but that outside slide. Now they had Lee square to bunt early in the count. Let's see if they keep that on here now that there's a runner at second. That's going to be nubbed down to first base. There's the put out, and a runner easily over to third base. So Lee able to get the runner to third with just the 1 out. And then Dambrakis in the last meeting actually here with Windsor had a couple hits in that ball game against Caitlin Curtis, and I'll set that Windsor defense for you. And just a second. Actually, right now is a good time. Got Audrey Kinney at first base, Michaela Estes at second, Amber Heath is the shortstop, and Alicia Crowdry is at third. And perfect pitch down low inside corner, called a strike. The outfield has Amanda Rochon in center, Haley Dunn is in right, and Courtney Rochon is the left fielder. Mention Curtis in the circle, and that's going to be a chance to score. They'll get the run and they'll get the out, but we'll have a tie ball game with 2 down now. As Maneri able to come in on it, and that's why that stolen base was so big by Maneri. Got her in scoring position. Now Kachupi up, and that's a ball that kind of slipped out of the hand of Caitlin Curtis, and she'll get it back. And she's had some good movement on the pitch, as did Lee in the first inning, top of the first. And boy, I tell you, if she can throw that consistently, she will have a good afternoon, Curtis will. Oh, and there's the change up there, and Kachupi just couldn't hold back on it long enough. I think we have a very even matchup today. I think it really comes down to strategy. Seriously. I really do. I think execution of the small ball, implementing the small ball and implementing the running games, I think that's really going to be the difference, is who gets creative out there. So Curtis all set now, got a new ball, and you can see her loosening that arm up. Game time temperature was 84 degrees, and strike 3 looking. But we'll have a tie ball game, 1-1, going in the top of the second on Munger Vision. Lee faced 6 batters in that first inning, had the 1 strikeout. She's going to be looking at Michaela Estes, Holly Heath, and Amanda Rochon here, 2 up for Windsor. We have a winner today, and I don't think Mother Nature is going to be an issue. And that's going to be chased to the bank and out of the reach of Pritchard, as Pritchard and Camo both going after that foul ball. Munger Vision bringing you 15 years of area softball action. I see now that the big networks able to sell some advertising and get paid to cover it, are jumping on some of the Division I teams, and I think she went. They'll look, and strike will be called. So 2 strikes on a leadoff batter, Esty, here in the top of the second. At Windsor Sports overall, that'll be too far outside. Right idea, just try and stretch that strike zone and get Esty to chase the ball out of the strike zone. But Windsor Sports, we've seen some excellent soccer teams in the past. Their girls basketball team, state championship last year. Foul tip, strike caught by Brown. And again, I told you my vote for most improved player this year on the team is Sarah Brown, the catcher, and that was a great job there of holding on to that foul for strike 3. Now Heath up, the Windsor catcher. Then the number 9 batter on deck. And a strike called. Both pitchers right in tune here early on. Amanda Rochon on deck, and then at the top of the order, Curtis will come back around. Windsor and Mill River able to pick up 1 run apiece in the top half of the first. And strike 2 was, I said, Lee very focused today. Finishing up her second complete year as a varsity starter. And tried to change up, and that floated outside on her. If you're going to miss, that's not a bad spot to miss at. So Windsor left 2 runners on in the first inning. Remember the last ball game I did here. Oh, knocked down Maneri with plenty of time. Will throw and get her. Nice job by Maneri, just not to panic there. She will get the 6-3 ground out. And now Amanda Rochon up. As Windsor will have completed through their order here the first time by the second inning. And Mill River looking for a 1-2-3 inning defensively. See Brown give the sign. She wants that pitch inside. And it was inside, but a little bit too high. And again, it's Pritchard, Camo, Maneri, and Mangan on the infield. Brown to lead the battery. Redena, Stambrakis, Kachupi the outfield. That's right back to Lee to first, and that's the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second, still tied at 1. Madeline Pritchard's going to get things started here, or try to, for Mill River, followed by Taryn Redenis, and then Madison Cornell. We were able to send 4 batters to the plate in that first inning. And it really was the running game, the stolen base that set up their only run in that inning. Pritchard, obviously, as you can see, left-handed batter up there. And again, good dipping action on that pitch. Now, this is where we've seen a lot. If you're going to start looking for tendencies, we've seen that changeup now in 2 games thrown for an out pitch by Curtis. We'll see what she throws here. There it is. And did she go? She went, dropped strike 3, and I'll tell you, if an old guy like me knew she was going to throw a changeup, I would hope that somehow they can get that on the Mill River bench and work that out and convey it to their players. But that's second strikeout of the ball game. Now Redenis up. Every pitcher I've ever seen, baseball or softball, has tendencies. Right there, starts her off with the rise ball. Swing and a miss by Redenis. Redenis had a rough game against Curtis during the regular season here. She was 0 for 3, actually struck out all 3 times she faced her. Redenis, though, she's got a sweet swing. It's all about just positioning of her head on the ball. And I will slide over in just a second. As this, again, with no elevation to stand on. Height out here. The center fielder sometimes accidentally get my way. And there is a strikeout, and that'll be 3 strikeouts in a row now, going back to the bottom of the first as Cornell up for the first time. Now Cornell has really enjoyed an excellent season at the plate, especially past the midway point of the season. And again, starts her off with the rise ball. You can see the tendency of that first pitch to a lot of these batters has been the rise ball. It's a pitch she feels she can get in there for a strike to get ahead in the count, and then she can throw that changeup. There's strike 2. So looking for her 4th strikeout in a row, and also for striking out the side. Caitlin Curtis looking in playoff form out there. Got her. That was a foul tip cut, and that was a quick inning to work by Curtis. Still tied at 1. Lee will be facing the top of the order. Caitlin Curtis, who lined out hard to Camo at second. I mean, it was only a great play by Camo that kept that from being a base hit. And that's going to be fouled out of play. You notice Curtis batting from the left side. Now she's going to ask for time, step back in there. Very good ball player, Curtis is. Like I said, she missed quite a bit of the middle of the season with mononucleosis, and that leaving the count out at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Lee working with a couple strikeouts herself. This ball game zipping along. We're in the 3rd inning. The outfield, Katrupi, Dambrakis, Redenis still intact out there. Brown behind the plate. Pritchard's at first, Camo at second, Maneri at short, and Mangan at 3rd. And that's going to be right off from the face mask of Brown for a strike. And Amanda Lee, of course, in the circle is Mill River, the 5th seed, trying to get into the quarterfinals. And that was just a ball. Held on to just a tad. On deck will be Haley Dunn and Amber Heath, and if you get to the cleanup spot, it'll be Courtney Rochon. Again, like I said, a very, if you looked in the standings online, went, oh, a 5 against a 12, you know. No, this is a very evenly matched ball game, and oh, nice pitch by Lee. She'll get Curtis for the 3rd strikeout. Gets the first out of the 3rd inning, and Dunn, who had an infield single at the plate. That one blocked down for a ball. Mike Lee, the head coach at Mill River. Jojo Valeni and Darren Badgley, the assistants. Lee with the stab. She's an athlete out there, and she'll throw to Pritchard, and there's the 2nd out. Like I said, this is settling into what you would expect a playoff game to be like. By this time of the year, if your pitcher hasn't found their rhythm and your defense hasn't settled in, you're in a lot of trouble. But I expected it, like I said, the last meeting was 2-1. I expect this to be a 3-2, 2-1 type of game. So with 2 out and the base is clear, here comes the pitch from Lee. Went to the rise ball, and it was high, and a good eye by Heath. Heath had a single and scored the run for Windsor back in the 1st. Each pitcher enjoying a 1, 2, 3 second inning, and here we are already in the third on Munger Vision. And you can go to PEGTV.com, click Video on Demand, and you can watch any Munger Vision sports you want. There's over 500 cataloged in the library, and there's been over 3,000 in total, tons way over 3,000. But oh, nice job of, again, picking her spots out nicely. So Lee with the 3 strikeouts, up in the count by 2 strikes here. And her tendency on her out pitch is to go to that outside corner, and she stretched it a tad bit too far, but looking for her 4th strikeout, which would match her opponent Curtis on the other side, and that's going to be fouled out of play. I tell you, people here, nice crowd on hand for Mill River. And it's a lot further, you know, it's about an hour ride from Windsor. And Lee, you can see she wanted that call, but if anything, it was low, and that'll be a walk, and that will set up Courtney Rochon. Now, Rochon had a single also back in the first. As Lee looking in, getting the sign. Brown with that excellent iron behind the plate. Going to get to see it right here, and oh, it carried up the line on her. They got a chance at third. They got a chance to get her. She fell down, and oh, she'll just make it back. And you can see a great shot there. Milt Sanderson right on top of the play. And so Heath putting herself in scoring position with 2 down. I tell you, when she lost her footing, fell down, I thought they were going to get her, but she literally crawled back to second base, and she is safe. And that's going to be fouled way out of play over toward the baseball field here at Mill River. And I plan on going up to Otter Valley and do their quarterfinal game. A lot of it, you know, like I say, always depends on the weather. And Lee again looking in for a strike, but if anything, again, it was low. Lee wasting no time between pitches, and sometimes that really works against her, and she'll miss high and outside. So after getting the first 2 outs relatively easy, a little bit more of a grind here the last 2 batters she's faced. And that's going to be foul, also out of play. And a lot of spectators are there ducking. Or ducking, there's a G on the end of that word. But they got to bring your glove to the game over here as they retrieve that foul ball and bring it into Amanda Lee. You can't get a better shot here. You see the runner at second, the pitcher, the catcher, and off to third base, and they're told to hold the ball. And now the significance of being over there at third base is another wild pitch or a pass ball. An error, you know, base hit, you can get that running. So Rochon trying to break the tie here at the plate. That's on the infield and being located by Brown and caught by Brown. That'll end the threat, and we'll stay tied at 1 going into the bottom of the third from Mill River on Munger Vision. Settling into a pitcher's duel here as the defense is taken over. 4 strikeouts in the ball game for Caitlin Curtis. 4 in a row, actually, going back to the bottom of the first. Sarah Brown and Melissa Mangan, and Michaela Maneri due up here for the Minutemen. Well, see, now the center fielder's not playing fair now. Maybe moved twice. Now that's the change-up, the pop-up, and I missed it. I still can't find it. The first baseman got it, and I apologize for that, but I just, be honest with you, couldn't locate the ball. So Brown will fall out to the first baseman who made the grab, and of course that's Kinney over there that got the out. Now Mangan up for the first time. Oh, there you go. The coach finally moved her. Strike called. I would have liked, after all these years doing softball, the schools that I do cover, just to invest in a little 6x6 platform to stand in center field. It can just be a big old box, like 4 feet tall, that we can move out of the way after the season's over. But that never happened. When I was allowed to cover Rutland High School softball, a couple of guys boosters for Rutland, donated some money, and I built a perch up behind the backstop. Best view, better than ESPN's view of softball. It was awesome. It was so easy to do a nice job with the camera because the game was in front of you and it was short swings from first to third base, and got a good look at the strike zone. It was very good. Best softball coverage ever Rutland got. Not better than what they're getting now, but you know what? That's going to be off the fist and foul. So we will just have Munger come back, pick up the bat. She's been streaky this year. She's had some games where she has pounded the covering off the ball, and other games where she's just out of sync with mechanics. There's the changeup. Foul tip. You see everybody telling her to run, but it was a foul tip. That was the changeup. Again, we're seeing an awful lot of that in this ball game from Caitlin Curtis. A nice warm, close enough for me to call it summer day. I know we're not officially there yet. Back-to-back change-ups. That one kind of floated on there, but Munger able to get a piece of it and foul it up and back for staying alive with 2 strikes. Each team scoring a run in the first. That's been it. Check swing. Going to be that's a check swing gapper. Munger going to go to second, looks to third base, picks the coach up, and goes on to third. And she's coming in. They're going to turn her loose as she heads home, and she's going to score. I got to tell you, it looked to be a double at the most, but somehow they had problem bringing the ball back in from the cutoff, and she will get around the bases, break the tie, and top of the order, Michaela Maneri coming up now. As Mill River grabbing that 2-1 lead. And again, that you go back and watch that disc or tape, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and she check swinged. As that is the starting off with a change up there for strike 1. Maneri back in the first had a single, stole the base, and eventually came in to score Mill River's first run of the ball game. 2-1 we're at in the bottom of the third. The Minutemen at the plate with the lead. Windsor in the field. The 12th seed Windsor taking on the 5th seed Mill River. Now it is possible if Mill River wins this game that they could have another home playoff game if there's an upset in the brackets. And waiting on that changeup, and that's going to be to Esty at second, and she will make the grab for the out. As Esty at second just backed up a few feet and snagged it for the second out. Now Amanda Lee up, she grounded out to first base. Her only time up, she's getting her second chance. That was Kinney down at first that got her unassisted. So on a ball that looked at the worst to be a double, turned into a round tripper for Munger. That's been the only scoring here in the third so far. To Curtis, she'll field her position well, throw to first, but we'll go to the fourth with Mill River up by 1, 2-1 on Munger Vision. Number 5, 6, 7 batter coming up. Cowdrey, Kipling, and Esty due up. Cowdrey walked back in the first. Now she'll get a second chance to examine the pitching by Lee, and that just left her hand early as it slipped out of her hand on the windmill action, and obviously a ball. Munger at third base, Maneri at short, Camo at second, Pritchard at first. And a nice recovery by the pitcher Lee to throw the strike there. Katrupi, Dambrakis, and Redenis. That's the outfield. Brown, of course, behind the dish. Lee in the circle. That's the Mill River defense. And it'll be out of play. Foul ball for a strike. So everybody will be reset as, again, we've made it to the fourth, and it's been good. Lead with the 3 strikeouts. Again, same problems. That just left her hand early. And winner, well, they move on to the next round, the quarterfinals, and loser, the season's done. They have their banquet, and then graduation happens. The ultimate goal is to get all the way to Poultney, Vermont, to the championship games. And I know it doesn't sound like a lofty goal to go to Poultney, but that's where they hold the championship games for all divisions, all 4 divisions in Vermont. That's going to be trouble. That's going to be in the gap. And that's going to be extra bases. You see the runner try and pick up the coach, cuts the bag, goes to third, and they're going to hold her up at third base. She'll have a stand-up leadoff triple. As Cowdrey able to split the gap between right and center field. So Cowdrey at third, Kibling coming up. She struck out back in the first. One of 3 Windsor players to strike out in today's ball game. So the tying run sitting down at second. And a good stop by Brown. They're going to have to be on the same page now, pitcher-catcher. You don't want a wild pitcher pass ball with that runner at third and give him a chance to come home without a base hit. Lee taking her time behind the circle. Will step onto the rubber now and fouled straight back. Might have caught a little bit of Brown's mask. Yeah, and then Esty on deck, also a strikeout victim. So Lee at the point in the lineup, where she'd love to generate the out herself from the circle with a strikeout. That's going to be the short. They're coming home. It's a tag play. She'll be safe. Will be tied at 2 as Maneri attacked the ball, made a good throw, but just a lot of speed down there. And we see that, and Mill River sees that leadoff triple turn into a run. And now Esty up with the runner at first base. 2-2 the score in the top of the 4th. So Lee going to shake that off now as they gave up the out for the run, and then the run did score and they didn't get the out. So again, runner at first with nobody down, and that's going to be Kibling over there. See what they want to do with her as far as moving her along with a steal. They're trying to small ball it, and that's in play. Throw to first, and oh, nice job by Camo to go up and get the high throw, then come down on the bag and then be alert enough to watch that runner back to second. Yeah, now Heath up. She grounded out to the shortstop, Maneri, and that's going to be off the fist, and that's going to be a fair ball. Nice job of chasing it down by Maneri, but that's just hit in the right spot at the right speed. And Rochon up, Amanda Rochon up. She grounded out to Amanda Lease on top of the order. Curtis sitting up on deck, and that's not a good sign. Curtis, of course, a good hitter. Right now they got to deal with Rochon as Amanda Rochon will take strike 1. So in a 4th inning, it's seen Windsor tie the game up at 2. They have a threat going with just the 1 out at first and second. And a good job by Brown on the outside corner picking that ball up so it doesn't roll to the backstop. They have Mangan at third, even with the bag. I'm not understanding that, but see if they want to lay one down here. No need to. That's a shot up the middle. Dan Brackus will scoop it up, and they're going to go home with it. And they're going to cut the throw off. And Windsor with a solid shot up the middle by Rochon will score. Kibling now break the tie, make it 3-2 Windsor, top of the order. Curtis up. She's 0 for 2. She's grounded out to Camo at second and struck out. But see, I really think the bunt helped set up this inning, that sacrifice bunt. Well, Curtis got all of that and pulls it down the first baseline foul. And see Curtis how he's got that bat just a twitching, spin it in her hand like a baton, and changeup will float. And the ball got away from Brown, and she'll hold it. Yeah, runners will move up. As again, most of the time you'll see it's just aggressive base running that really helps generate a lot of high school softball offenses. So beginning of a big inning here with the 1 out for Windsor. Runners at second and third now for Curtis. And a good eye there, laying out that pitch for a ball. Well, River taking the lead last inning 2-1, only to see that evaporate here in the 4th. And that was high and tight inside for a ball. As Dunn on deck. for the Yellow Jackets. Lee pitching pretty rapidly between pitches, and whoa boy. That was a home field call as she stretched that about as far as you could and got the call in the outside corner. When Curtis pitches though, she fidgets like that. Now he's spinning her arm. Oh, great pitch, and she needed that. She got the strikeout for the second out. Runners stay in position at second and third. Now Dunn up. 1 for 2 today. She has an infield single, and then she grounded out to lead the pitcher. Yeah, you could hear the coach from Windsor. Pick him up here. Let's not leave him out on base. In the last meeting here in the regular season between these two teams, Windsor left a ton of people on base in the first 4 innings. Off the fist and fouled down the first baseline. I'll tell you, if Lee gets out of this and strands those 2 runners, she would have minimized the damage about the best you could ask for. 3-2 Windsor, top of the 4th, scheduled for 7. It's the playoffs, so if you lose, it's adios to the season. And again, you can see her at the plate start to offer Dunded, but held the bat back, and there will be no appeal on the call. I tell you what, the crowd's being treated to an outstanding ball game today. Strike 3 will end the inning, but Windsor picks up a couple runs, and they'll have the lead 3-2 going into the bottom of the 4th on Munger Vision. Dambrakis, Katrupi, Pritchard is there right in the 3, 4, 5 spot in the order. Mill River is. Dambrakis has an RBI in the ball game for Mill River. Remember, her ground out let the runner come in to score Mill River's first run back in the 1st. They've scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. 4 strikeouts so far in the ball game for Curtis. Great location on the pitch. Like I said, Curtis coming back from mononucleosis the last time these two teams met, and that was about three and a half weeks ago. So you would think, probably in pretty decent pitching shape right now. And that change up right there had Dambrakis kind of hold up on the swing, had her out of sync on her mechanics, and she'll follow that back for a strike. Kinney, Este, Heath, Cowdrey. That's the infield defensively for Windsor. And she'll get the strikeout. And again, Dambrakis was leadoff batter, so they'll retire the leadoff batter here on strikes. Now Katrupi up. She struck out back in the 1st on the changeup. I just ponder out loud, but I said this statement early in the season when I was covering Mill River early games. I just don't think they've ever really utilized the small ball other than for obvious situations enough this season and in the last couple seasons. And I think they're falling right into that trend here today. Pritchard on deck, and Katrupi with a long look down at third base. Now, granted, against Leland and Gray, Mill River hit the ball extremely well on full swings, had some extra base hits and some singles and doubles, but you'll have a game like that because the Leland and Gray pitcher, like Curtis, was around the plate all the time. But as far as consistently going out and just swinging big lumber every game, that just doesn't happen in high school softball. Not every game. It's more unusual when it does than when it doesn't. Katrupi again waits for Curtis to get done all that fidgeting and that winding her arm up and stuff that she does. That's the changeup. There's his tag out. Unassisted down to first base. Kinney with the put out, and very quickly 2 down now for Mill River. Pritchard, she's only been up once. That was in the 2nd, and she struck out. And that outfield I'll set up very quickly for you is Dunn, Roshan, and Roshan out there for Windsor. I already mentioned that Curtis is the one throwing the strikes right there, and Heath, of course, is behind home plate. That's going to be the shortstop, and chance for a 1-2-3 inning, and they'll have it. So Windsor will hold the lead going into the 5th, 3-2 over Mill River. For Windsor, it'll be Amber Heath. She's had a single and walked. She's also scored a run. She'll get things up and cooking here in the 5th. The game just moving right along. Playoff softball action. Winner, of course, will go down to the quarterfinals. have Otter Valley softball, playoff softball action coming up for you. As they got the number 2 seed in Division 2, and they have a chance to play at home for the quarters and the semis, trying to defend their state championship they won last year. They're a good-looking squad up there. Good pitching, good defense, working on the offense. 2 strikes now as Lee can, about third time today, that ball slipped out of her hand early. She's got the 5 strikeouts. She's trying to eliminate the leadoff batter here. Courtney Rochon on deck. Just the umpire give you the call, 2-2 the count. And there's strike 3 swinging, so Lee will retire, the leadoff batter, for her 6th strikeout. And going back to the 4th inning, that's her 3rd in a row. Now Courtney Rochon up, she singled and then popped up in foul territory to the catcher Sarah Brown. Oh, I expect this to be a nail biter right to the final out. I wouldn't even be surprised to see a little extra innings today. And Lee, like she usually does, working quick between pitches. And I think sometimes when she does that, when I've watched her pitch last 2 years, it doesn't really work for her. She kind of gets loose on going through the mechanics when she pitches so quick between pitches. That's through the wickets and base hit as the Ambracus will pick up that hard hit ball up the middle, and you can see how that's went right through Lee's legs. So Alicia Cowdrey up, she had a triple the last time up. She's walked and tripled and scored a run. And we're going to get a courtesy runner over at first base for Windsor, and I just need that young lady there. She goes to turn around so I can see her jersey number, Tori Hill. So Hill out there. As again in the playoffs, you're looking for every advantage you can have. Of course, you're looking for that all season, but it just seems magnified here in the playoffs. Looking for a little more speed on base. Maybe get a stolen base. Maybe they're going to bunt her over and they want her to make sure she gets. Maybe they're going to get a base hit here and they want her to be able to score from first. But so Cowdrey, who's already shown you she's got power, as the umpire wasn't set, and Lee, yes, he just said to Amanda Lee, it's my time. He's got to be in position to be ready. Now you see him give her the thumbs up as he points to her. Oh, they got a chance for 2. There's 1, and she'll be safe at second. So again, a nice lead on the throw. And that'll lead to the second out on that force out. So fielder's choice for Cowdrey. Now Kibling up. Kibling has an RBI, and she scored a run. And that looks like Dan Brackus has got it under control, and that's it. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-2. Windsor would lead over Mill River in softball action on Munger Vision. Curtis with the 5 strikeouts in the ballgame. Redenis, one of them, back in the 2nd. She's up here in the 5th. As it will be Redenis, Cornell, and Brown due up. And boy, I tell you, Redenis, just something about the way Caitlin Curtis pitches that really gets to Redenis. Each team's had the lead at different points today, as there's the changeup, strike 3. You knew it was coming. I told you, she uses that for the out pitch with 2 strikes when she's up in the count. Not like at 2-2, 3-2, but 6 strikeouts now. And Cornell up. She struck out back in the 2nd. It was in the 2nd that Curtis struck out the side. She's had a streak of 4 in a row as her longest, and she's up to 6 overall for the ball game right now. I thought Curtis was extremely impressive in the 2-1 loss here during the regular season, considering she was just coming back from an illness. And Curtis always, just like when she bats, she spins that ball, that bat around, baton twirls. When she's pitching, she's constantly making a circle with that arm. And it's going to be down to Esty. She'll have time. She'll knock it down and got her. Just did get her. The call is out and she will be gone. So again, plenty of time there to make the play. on that 4-3 ground out. Now Sarah Brown up for Mill River, the catcher. Thank you very much. And that'll be called a ball inside. Rob Black, the athletic director, bring me a nice cold bottle of water. And like I said, I always get taken very well care of down here at Mill River, from the parents to the players to the coaches, the athletic director. And again, it's a good time to thank the whole Mill River community, Rob Black, the athletic director, and all the coaches and players for allowing me to videotape their sports and then play it on PEGTV or Channel 15 or PEGTV.com. And it's Brown flied out and fouled territory to the first baseman. That's the play that I missed. Remember, I couldn't locate the ball. And all too familiar themes starting to unfold here in the playoffs for Mill River. Off the fist, up the middle, the shortstop, got her. Tell you what, a great play sliding over by Heath, and we'll go to the 6-3-2 Windsor with the lead over the Minutemen in playoff action. In the pace of the game has been two teams that play well, field well, pitch well. It's been moving right along. And there's a big swing at a ball well in strike zone by Michaela Estee. She has struck out, and then she tried to lay down a bunt and was thrown out. And she's going to be down in the count now, 1-2. Again, I see no changes defensively, as it's for Dennis Kachupi and Dambrakis in the outfield. Brown behind the plate lead the pitcher. That's a ball. Pritchard remains at first, Camo at second, Maneri at short, and Mangan at third. Mill River needing to hold the score here at 3-2, as again they're having a problem with their offense against Caitlin Curtis, the pitcher for Windsor. Not a lot of small ball being played, though, by Mill River. So back to work will go, and Lee will get the strikeout looking, as Estee will take strike 3 looking. That's now 7 strikeouts for Lee. And Heath up. She's 1 for 2 today. She's grounded out to Maneri at short, and she's also singled. Amanda Rochon on deck for Windsor, and there's again that's one of Lee's favorite spots, that outside corner, and she's got enough bend on the ball to get it there, and that's a swinging strike. The top of the 6. Going to go at least 7 if we don't do a little extra today. Again, you go to that PEGTV.com. You can click video on demand, or you can go anywhere you want. The homepage is cool, and there's all kinds of information on that homepage. But I want to tell you about just living in the state of Vermont. Summer's here. Get out and enjoy the state of Vermont. All kinds of great activities. That's going to be to Lee. This should be no problem. She'll throw to Pritchard, and there's the out. Again, Lee has thrown the ball very well today, as she has all season for Mill River. Now, like Monday, I knocked out from work and then threw the kayak on top of the vehicle and went up to Chittenden Dam, and just beautiful. There's all kinds of ponds and streams and lakes to swim at, or canoe in, or kayak in, or trails everywhere to hike. That's going to be a foul ball. Lee looking for the 1-2-3-6, keeping her team right in it, down 3-2. 7 strikeouts in the ball game. She's been very good about the walks today. Oh, got her on the rise ball. Strike 2 as it explodes up and out of the strike zone. Got her to chase it. You can see Brown on that outside corner. Got it. Lee strong in the 6. Mill River needs some offense in the bottom of the 6, down 1. Yeah, Melissa Mangan up, number 9 batter in the order. She's going to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6. She had unofficially a home run last time up. And Mill River down to just 6 more outs left in their season. They're down 3-2, and that's going to be off the corner for a ball. Again, Caitlin Curtis has been sharp out there. 6 strikeouts, but really has kept Mill River off balance, mixing in that changeup she's got very effectively. It's been a while since I've seen a pitcher who doesn't have a dominating fastball, really rely on that changeup as much as she does. There it is right there, and she bowled that one in. And you know it's coming. I mean, I've told you a couple of times when she's going to throw it, and she has. But yet. Strike called, outside corner. That's the pitcher's pitch right there. Oh, and you know, it's just my opinion, which means nothing. And I think the coaches have done an outstanding job all year at Mill River. I would like to see him small ball more. That's coming right at you. Oh, nice knockdown in center field by Roshan. So Munger having a big game out of the number 9 spot with a triple, or I mean with a home run and a single now. And you know, with her at first base, she's got good wheels. She's got good speed. She gives you a lot of choices up there as to what to do now. Maneri up. She's 1 for 2 today. Her last time up, she popped up to second base where Esty made the grab. So the tying run at first. Oh, that's going to be trouble, and that's going to be more in trouble. It'll be dropped out there in right field. They're going to tie the game up. Munger heading home, and oh, they're not going to tie it up. She's going to be out easy to third base. She'll be safe. The ball will get away, and they're going to score. They're just going to get there. What a crazy play. Maneri will score the tying run on the most unlikely of all events as Munger is out at home by a mile. Maneri ends up scoring. 1 out, and we're tied at 3. I'm trying to figure out who should get the error. I'm going to go E2. Amanda Lee up with the bases clean. 1 down, 3-3 the score. And that is one of the rare times we've seen Windsor today throw the ball around. It started with the fly ball slicing away from the right fielder. She had difficulty with it, and Lee, oh my God, they called Lee out. That's a terrible call. Yeah, and that's what the coach just told him. Yeah, and Coach Lee arguing the call, but boy, when they watch that one on TV, that would be kind of an oh moment because Lee was through the bag and halfway down the outfield when the ball got to first and they called her out. Whew. Now that could be big later in the game. Lee could have got on, stole second, scored on a base hit. Instead, she's called out at first. And Dambracus at the plate. So 2 down now, 1 run in, 3-3 the score in the bottom of the 6th. That looks to be catchable, and it is. What a wild one we got here from Mill River. 3-3 between the 5th seed and 12th seed. We're going to the 7th. Windsor at the top of the order in the top of the 7th. As Caitlin Curtis up, she's 0 for 3 today. Struck out twice and grounded out to come out second. Yep, playing for 1 run. That's what I would do. Yep, that's beautiful softball. Absolutely beautiful softball. That's pure softball. She'll get the bunt single. And now Dunn up. See if they want a small ball with Dunn. See if they want to steal. Dunn with an infield single, grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. And she offered at it, and that'll be called a strike. Well, I did a lot of Rutland games with Dick Wright when I was allowed to do Rutland. I saw it several times, and it was just so brilliant. Things weren't going good, and his team wasn't offensively doing things. And he went up and just had everybody bunting line up, and it always seemed to work out for him. So 2 strikes now on that attempted bunt, no good. Doesn't mean they're automatically going to take the bunt off. I know what happens. She falls off this next one, but what they're saying is they're playing for the run and putting their faith in their pitcher and their defense. That's going to be tough to get the lead runner out. They're going to go to first and safe. Nobody covered the bag. And look at this. Going to third base will be Curtis, and got her. What a great throw from first. That's still a live play. Curtis, she's fine. She's just exasperated in the fact that they got her out as Windsor got a little greedy on the play. And instead of having a runner at second with 2 down, or with 1 down, they have the 1 out now. Runner out at third. I'm just trying to catch up on my book for Amber Heath. Is it? This has been a great game, and I knew it was going to be like this. I tell you, that 5-12 thing means nothing. I knew that was just really a mirage as far as River got a tough draw at the 5 seed, I'll tell you that. And Heath, today so far, she's singled, scored a run in the first, she's walked in the third, and she struck out in the 5th. Strike called there. So a little breathing room for Mill River. Better to have a runner at first than a runner at second or at third. Obviously, I'm misstating the obvious. That's to Kamal. There's one. And they won't get the call. But again, they keep the lead runner off the base on the force out. And that'll bring up Courtney Rochon. So Courtney Rochon today, she's had 2 singles. She's hit the ball well, and Lee trying to get it to the bottom of the 7th, all tied up. Her defense doing the job behind her here in the 7th. And that's going to be knocked down, and they chase it down. It rolls away from Camo. Best thing she can do, yeah, just get the ball back in like she's doing. That's the smart play. Bring the ball to the circle. Bad break. That's all it was right there. Now, with first base open, I don't think you do this, but Cowdrey up. She's walked, tripled, and reached on a fielder's choice. There's 2 outs. The go-ahead run sitting down at third base for Windsor. We're in the 7th of a playoff game on Munger Vision. Got a nail biter going on. Umpire, yeah, again, says he hasn't given her the good-to-go sign yet. Yeah, see, now I think that was unnecessary. Yeah, well, the umpire's right there. She went to pitch, and he said, my time, his hands up. And then he went out. Now, I don't know if she said something, but he thought she did. He went out and made an example of her and asked her to say it a little louder. He couldn't hear her. Now, this is a passionate, heated game. You're talking about teenagers here. Unless she blatantly walked up and hollered some vulgarity at him, let it go. Because now you've got the pitcher upset. You've got her at a complete disadvantage in a critical spot in the ball game. There's been a couple calls that a lot of people thought could have gone other ways. Whether they could or not, I don't know. I have an opinion on it, which I have a right to. But I don't think there was any need to go out and talk to the pitcher about what she might have said or not said. Obviously, if he said, speak up, I couldn't hear it, she might not have said something. Or she might have said, oh, shoot. But I don't think that was the time and place to start talking to the pitcher in a high school ball game. Stage has been set. Windsor looking for the big hit to take the lead back in the top of the 7th. Cowdrey up there. Oh, nice rise ball. You know, it didn't have full velocity on it, but it did what she wanted it to do. It got her up in the count. Won't be offering that time, and it'll be a ball. Just a dandy of a playoff game. Got me all riled up. Oh, great pitch there. Oh, I have many people over the years. Christ, every time somebody writes an article about me, it's got to have some negativity in it. Yeah, I do get opinionated. Yeah, I do say this and that. Doesn't mean I'm right. Everybody has a right to say, oh, what a jerk I am, or whatever, or that's the wrong call, or this and that. I don't argue when they say it, because they have a right in America to do that. I have a right to say, I don't think you should have done that, or, geez, she looks safe to me. Now, I mean, the man's a great man out there, a great human being. I'm not saying that, just have an opinion, too. Oh, this could be trouble. Come on, got it. We're going to the bottom of the 7th tide. Windsor had chances there in the top of the 7th, but couldn't get the job done. 3-3 on Munger Vision. A lot of chatting, a lot of explaining going on right there between all those coaches and that umpire. Oh, a lot on the line. Playoff game, one and done. Been well played by the players. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Mill River going to be looking at Katrupi, Pritchard, and Redenis. That's who's scheduled up. We'll see if they do a little fooling around with the order here. I see Katrupi out there with the helmet on. She will be batting. She's 0 for 2 today. She has struck out and grounded out to first base where Kinney made the play. Curtis, with the 6 strikeouts, has been strong out there. And there she goes with that. I think it's a nervous habit or a twitch. She got that, like she spins the bat, twirls the bat, she twirls her arm around. And a strike called at the knee. Again, Mill River showed no signs of bunting there. Remember, they're only needing the one run, and Curtis will make the grab. There's one down. Good athlete, Curtis is. Now, I've said it all year, and again, it doesn't mean I'm right, but you're playing for one run right here. Nothing like a small ball. Now, swing and a miss. I said Curtis says, I think this is Sierra Phelps pinch hitting for Pritchard. I honestly I can see it 20, but I can't see the other digit. It's like 21, 22. I don't think it's 22. That'd be Cornell, and she's already in the lineup. Oh, that's Katrupi, so I don't know what she did last time, but she's definitely out this time. No, that's Sierra Phelps. Okay. You got to remember what the disadvantage is standing flat on the ground in center field trying to see in. So 2 down very quickly here. So Phelps did hit for Pritchard. Now Redenis up. She's 0 for 2 against Caitlin Curtis. And it could be looking like extra innings. It will be extra innings. Big pressure catch right there in center field for Windsor by Amanda Rochon. And we're going to go to the 8th, all tied up. Well, Windsor had the best opportunity of the 2 teams in the 7th to get the go-ahead run and the potential winning run, but couldn't score. Some crazy plays in that 7th inning for Windsor. Kibling, Esty, and Heath do up against Lee. We're in the 8th, the way playoffs should be. We've got some extra innings. Lee with 8 strikeouts in the ball game. She gave up the 1 run in the 1st and then the 2 runs in the 4th, and that has been it. And that looks to be catchable. Katrupi coming in under control will make the grab. 1 down as they get that all-important leadoff batter out. Doesn't mean that they won't give up a run, but your odds go up in your favor. Michaela Esty up. She's 0 for 3 today. She's got a couple strikeouts. On a sun-drenched field here at Mill River. That's happened to Lee 4 times today. Either hits her leg or her hip or just loses a grip on it, but that'll be an obvious ball. So Brown gets set. She wants that outside corner, and she got it. I mean, Lee and both the Windsor pitcher, Caitlin Curtis, have hit their spots very well today. And it goes right back to that cliche. It really is a shame that one of these teams have to lose today. They played at maximum performance. Dan Brackus settling underneath it will make the grab. The defenses, like I said, it's a 3-3 game. They have shine for both teams at different times today. So 2 flyouts will bring up Holly Heath. 1 for 3 today. She's grounded out to the shortstop, grounded out to first, and has had a single sandwich in between those 2 groundouts. Neither pitcher has gone deep into the counts here. I mean, there should be a lot of gas left in their tank as far as when we play on. We're in the 8th right now. That's on the infield. Brown says, you got it, Lee. Lee will make the grab in a 1, 2, 3, 8th inning for Amanda Lee in Mill River. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 3. Now Cornell due up, and that looks like Madison. Yep, 22. So Cornell, Brown, and then Mangan. In a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 8th. All Mill River's trying to do is get the 1 run here and move on to the quarterfinals. And this time they'll lay off that first pitch from Caitlin Curtis, and it'll be ball 1. Now Cornell with great wheels, good speed. Again, I haven't seen any indications they're going to bunt here. She'll swing through that rise ball and be a 1-1 count. 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a ground out to Esty at second. Oh, great pitch, up and in. No, I just kind of always scratch my head about the lack of small ball when I leave here. But it's just an uneducated opinion. Off the fist and fall. Good job with 2 strikes right there to stay alive and get the bat on the ball. Defense stayed the same. We've had no changes for Windsor. Kinney, Esty, Heath, Cowdrey on the infield. Holly Heath, the catcher. Caitlin Curtis in the circle. That's the battery. And they have to wait. They want the Little League team behind home base to get out of the line of the pitcher's vision. Roshan, and Dunn, the outfield. And that's the way Windsor started, and that's the way they've remained throughout the contest. There's the changeup, and that's damage. That's a lot of damage. And Cornell with those wheels still running. She's going to have at least a triple. And is he going to send her? They're going to hold her up. No, she ran through the sign, and she's going to be out. That's not her fault, or his fault. That's not the coach's fault. He's right there on the ground. See him? He was begging her to stay at third base. He was begging her. And I have no idea how she missed him. He's a big guy, and she just ran right through the sign. I could hear him clearly, stay, begging, pointing at the base. So just game of crazy bounces or decisions, but Cornell with a great opportunity to be at third base and nobody down with the winning run. Instead, ran through the sign at third and is tagged out easily at home. Sarah Brown up now, 0 for 2. I don't know if Coach Badgley will ever recover from that. He's still walking around. And we have a pinch hitter up as they're doing some book work. That could be Hannon up there. Yes, it is. Amber Hannon going to pinch hit. So an opposite field, legitimate triple. Ends up in a heart breaking out at home base. And Hannon's swinging away. And I mean, I could talk a lot about small ball, and you're saying, well, Jesus, Jared, look at that girl just hit a triple. Then she ran through the signer. She'd be at third base with nobody out. Yeah, but how often is that going to happen? High fly ball. Got it. Well, I had to wait for a second as Dunn made an adjustment, made to grab 2 outs, and Windsor looks like they might survive to go to the 9th. That would have scored the winning run right there at third. Mangan up. She's hit the ball well today. She's, again, unofficially had a home run and a single. Oh, you think back, there's been some crazy bounces, some crazy decision making. It's been a great ball game. Been some heat of the moment comments that I'll live and die by them. I have for 15 years. I've done it for 50 years actually, but in broadcasting I've done it for 15. Oh, anybody wants to criticize, go ahead. And that's going to be down to third. For the out, they got it. We're going to go to the 9th. Out of extra innings today on Munger Vision, tied at 3. The pinch hitter up here, I just can't see the jersey number right now. So Windsor in the 9th. Looked like they were on the ropes in the 8th with that leadoff triple by Mill River, but they're able to get around it. That'll be a foul ball. As Amanda Roshan is due up in this spot. But again, I just can't see the, I know it's in the team's number, I just can't see the number to make it out. I see the 1, but I can't see the rest of the number. Lee wanting that outside corner, won't get the call, and that'll be a ball. In the 9th, we were scheduled for 7, but I had a feeling. Again, good job of not going after those borderline pitches by the pinch hitter. Hey, when they got together here at Mill River in the regular season, it was 2-1 in a wild game. That's going to be a foul ball. And the first base coach almost fell over getting it. She makes up for it with a good throw back to the pitcher, though. So now the crowd has swelled. That's back to Lee. That's automatic. She'll flip to first and pick it up and got the out. It was an adventure. And that's number 13 I can see now. I believe that's Wilcox. And that is Allison Wilcox, and she will ground out to the pitcher, to Phelps. Top of the order, Caitlin Curtis up. Curtis was involved in a strange play in the 7th, had a chance to be at second base with nobody out, tried to stretch it to third, got thrown out, and it was only destiny that we've gotten this far into the ball game. 1 down in the 9th, 3-3 the score. Windsor has been stuck at 3 since the 4th inning. That's when they picked up their 2 runs to momentarily take a 3-2 lead. And again, Curtis with that left-handed stance, doing what all those lefties do, taking her front foot and stepping toward first base on her swing, shortening her bat. Well, great pitch by Lee. She tattooed the outside corner. Now she's got 2 strikes on Curtis. Haley Dunn on deck. You're watching Munger Vision, and if I've offended you, then I apologize, but great ball games bring the worst out in me. As Curtis will strike out, Lee will now have 9 strikeouts. 2 down, more importantly here, in the 9th, and Haley Dunn up. And so Lee looking into Brown, the catcher. And that's going to be just out of the reach of Phelps, and we'll just have strike 1. Like I said, neither pitchers hurt themselves with an abundance of walks today. The defenses have been right on, spot on, as Gordon Ramsay says. Hell's Kitchen guy there. There's the picture. And that'll be a foul ball. So Lee looking to go 1, 2, 3 here in the 9th. She went 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. And she got lucky in the 7th. But you got to have a lot of luck involved in getting through a season, into playoff formation, and then through the playoffs. Trying to go outside corner and then stretch the play. Talked to many coaches. I can drop a lot of names if I want to be a name dropper, but from every sport there is, a lot of them say, every one of them say it. Got a lot of luck involved in having a championship year or a good year. Now that's going to be a base hit, and maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be a 9-3. 9-3! Put out Rodenis over to Phelps. We're going to the bottom of the 9th Tide. We're in a sweet spot right here in the bottom of the 9th. They're at the top of the order. Maneri, Lee, Dambrakis. 2 of their 3 runs have come from the top of the order. See if they want to play for 1 run or if they're going to swing away. Well, enough said. Strike 1 on the rise ball. All they need is a base runner, and then start manufacturing, get those bunts going, steals going. Like I said, they need 1 run here. Maneri today, she's been good. She had a single in the 1st, eventually scored. She had a single in the 6th, and eventually scored. Change up gutter. Just feel that one coming. Great time for the 7th strikeout to race that leadoff batter. Small ball. Sorry, I just can't keep my mouth shut. Small ball. I mean, you're top of the order, you need 1 run. Lee up now for Mill River. That'll be a big swing and a miss and a foul ball back, and strike 1. Lee today's grounded out all 3 times. She's been up. Dambrakis on deck. And I hope the weather's good Saturday. I plan on heading up to Otter Valley. And again, swinging for the fences. Small ball. Oh, I just shoot myself in the foot all the time. And that's going to be a foul ball. It was a changeup that Lee held back on long as she could, but she did a good job following it off. She gets to swing the bat again. As we're in the 9th. Little OT today. Extra innings. And the little young lady in the circle, Caitlin Curtis, has been very sharp out there. Lee will get it to Curtis. She'll field the position well, and there's 2 down now. So 2 outs in the 9th. For Mill River. And Dambrakis up. 0 for 3 today. She does have an RBI. She did drive in a run with a ground ball. And Dambrakis got a lot of speed if she can just get the ball into the gap, but she couldn't catch up to that rise ball. And I believe I don't remember not being a fast pitch rise ball from Curtis to the leadoff batters. 1-1 to count on that outside pitch. Oh yeah, when I saw Windsor was a 12th seed in the River Room, I knew that was just so deceptive how good this Windsor team was. And that'll miss, making a 2-1 count. Tell ya, the crowd has swelled to tremendous proportions now. Oh yeah, if the boys' ball game's over, no, they just keep coming in. And a good eye by Dambrakis. And like I said, neither pitchers really hurt themselves at all with walks today. But this could be, well, it's a 3-1 count. This would be a bad spot to give up the walk, stating the obvious, of course. But pitch on the way from Curtis. And what a snag. We're going to the 10th, tied up. And I'm just dumbfounded by the lack of trying to bunt to get a runner on. 10th. We are looking at for Windsor, Amber Heath, Courtney Rochon, and Alicia Cowdrey. Strike called. And I'm looking, other than Phelps going in to replace at first base back in the, going to replace Pritchard a couple innings ago. His defense is looking the same. That'll be foul back, strike 2. Well, you couldn't ask for a more nerve-wracking, entertaining playoff game than this right here. Remember, you saw it on Munger Vision. Brought you a lot of softball over the years. Back to Lee, off her glove, and Maneri got her. Right spot, right time. A 1-6-3 ground out. And that was crucial to get that leadoff batter out. Oh, that's that little luck. Got a little luck now and then. Now Courtney Rochon up. She's had a couple, well, she's had 3 base hits. She's 3 for 4 today. She has been, stating the obvious, a tough out here to get. In the 10th, with 1 down, nobody on, the pitch coming in will be low and slow, and it'll be a ball. I've gone in the playoffs for schools before. I remember going 12 innings deep. And there's a pitch at the knee called a strike. That'll even things up in the count now. Oh yeah, I've had to extend my book. Great location, outside corner, got her to swing through it. 2 strikes in the count. Lee with 9 strikeouts in the ball game. Started strong and is finishing strong. That's going to be tailing away from Rodenis, and that'll be a foul ball. There's that slicing away from the right fielder, Taryn Rodenis, and no damage done. Ends up just being a big sigh of relief by Mill River and a foul ball. Stay with 2 strikes in the count. It's going to be a late supper tonight. Been worth it, though. It's been a heck of a game. Got her out of the strike zone. 10 strikeouts for Lee now, and more importantly, the second out here of the 10th inning. 10 strikeouts, 10 innings. Cowdrey up now. She's shown some power today. She had that triple back in the middle innings. Well, been the 4th to be exact. And Lee just finding a rhythm now, firing away, throwing strikes at will almost. I'll tell you what, the outfield leaving a big gap in left center. That's going to be the shortstop, bad bounce. Yep, it's going to be an error, and best thing Kamal could do would just eat it. So the go-ahead run on at first base with 2 outs. See if they bring in a courtesy runner for Cowdrey. So the bad bounce in the air. Now Kibling up. Kibling reaching on a fielder's choice in 4 trips and scoring a run. That will be a ball. They leave Cowdrey in to play, to stay and be the runner at first base. And what they want is that last out. They just want the simplest play here. And a strike called. And again, Lee just got that, the motion down, the mechanics down, the windmill winding, and again, very loose in her motion. See that? Great cutter down and inside. Almost like a screwball right there. So Lee looking for her 11th strikeout in 10 innings to end the threat here for Windsor. She'll have it. Lee in charge. Will go to the bottom of the 10th, tied at 3. Caitlin Curtis, like her counterpart, Amanda Lee, has done the job today. In the 7th, she's faced 3 batters. In the 8th, she faced 3 batters. And in the 9th, she faced 3 batters. She's had a bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings. And she's looking at Haley Katrupi here. We'll see what strategy unfolds now in the bottom of the 10th. Oh, my God, she tried to bunt. I'm sorry, you sound so sarcastic. I'm not toward Haley. I just think that should have been done a long time ago. I said to JoJo Valenia, which I've known for years. I've known her for years. Last year, play it Raleigh now because I'm a lot older than she is. I told her about Dick Wright one time. You know, everybody just bunted. Everybody bunted. I said, that's what you guys got to do. Everybody up, just bunt. Ah, see, they started with the bunt, came off the bunt. Now she's 0-2, and you kind of think the averages of her bunting are diminished. I say it in baseball, too. Once you start with the bunt, I think you guys, in softball especially, once you start with the bunt, you got to stay with the bunt. Watch the changeup. Nope. She got it off the fist and foul. Good job by Katrupi to foul off 2-strike count and stay alive. Katrupi, Phelps, and Redenis to appear in the bottom of the 10th. I hope somebody wins it in 11 because I have no more room in my book. And that means I got to kind of jury rig something. To first, the out. So they started off showing bunt, but they didn't stick with it, and they got the out. And they could have got the out bunting too. You're absolutely right. As Phelps stepping up there, she's 0 for 1 today. She came in for Pritchard, I believe in the 6th, but I. Pop fly, Roshan fading back will make the grab. 2 down on a deep fly ball to center field. Yeah, Amanda Roshan with a good grab in center field. Redenis today has 0 for 3 her last time up. She flied out to center field. Redenis and then Cornell on deck. Wheels at the plate. She's got a lot of speed. That's going to be fouled out of play. No, I thought maybe they'd try a 2-out bunt, but she'll swing away. On deck is Cornell. Again, you go to that PEGTV website, all kinds of cool stuff you can do on it. But one of the options is to click video on demand, and you can watch all the archive sports, which basically 99% of the time is mine. That time, Curtis trying to send in that changeup. And her motion, not very deceptive that time, and she kind of lost the grip. You see her doing that wind-up. She does that a lot. Like when she gets up to bat, she twirls the bat a lot. It's almost like a hitch, a nervous hitch. And that'll be out of play. So 2 strikes now on Redenis. There's Mill River and Windsor locked up in an epic battle. Already a classic on Munger Vision. We're in the bottom of the 10th of the playoffs. As they check with the counts, 2 umpires do, and they have 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on. Curtis on the way to the plate. Got her. We're going to the 11th. Esty, Heath, and Roshan scheduled up for Windsor here in the top of the 11th. Oh, nice grab by Mangan to throw to first. And got her. Boy, held the ball a long time, but she'll record the out. So the 11th inning on Munger Vision. And now Heath up. Holly Heath is 1 for 4 today. 1 for 4 today. It's a long book today, let me tell you. That's going to be a foul ball. Yeah, I got to tell you, Amanda Lee has sparkled in this ball game today with 11 strikeouts, a lot of assists, and just really helped be the anchor, one of the anchors out there defensively for Mill River. Nice bounce. Comes to Benary. Out number 2. Well, both teams defensively and pitching wise right in the zone right now. We could be here forever tonight, or until it gets too dark. Now Wilcox pinch hit last time, but they're going to bring Roshan up, the center fielder. And then top of the order, Curtis sitting on deck. It's just been such a entertaining ball game. Both teams just, I mean, there's going to be some tears when this one's over because it's been blood, sweat, and tears on the field. And again, you don't want to get into trouble with 2 down here. Here's Roshan stepping in from the right side, the center fielder for Windsor. And Lee missing last couple pitches down low. Tell you who you forget about in days like this. Like I said, it was in the 80s when the game started in the bright sun, and we're in the 11th inning now. The catchers, both catchers have gone the distance here, and great framing of the pitch. Great spot hitting by Lee, but Brown, the catcher, able to frame that right where it belonged. She made it look like it was a strike, and she made it look like a strike. So on the top of the 11th with 2 down, Lee will get back-to-back strike calls on that outside corner. Looking for an even dozen in strikeouts right here. Lee taking a little time to compose herself, and the pitch. Bust inside, and there is the go-ahead run down at first base. Top of the order, Curtis up. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 5 today is Curtis. And I'm looking, no courtesy runner. They're going to leave Roshan out there. So Windsor looking to generate some two-out magic here. Swinging away themselves. Mangan in at the corner, about, I would say, probably 15 feet from home base. We're needing just the one out. Windsor playing for the one run. Up and Brown, nope. She located it, just the fence got in her way. I was going to mention that June 13th, the Crowley Road Race coming up, but we could still be here playing by then, so I'll wait and see. And again, the crowd is filled in very nicely here. Oh yeah, it's the boys' baseball game's over. They're all over here now, everybody. We're going to the bottom of the 11th, tied at 3. 12 strikeouts for Lee. Cornell, Brown, and Mangan, 7, 8, 9 batters due up. 8 strikeouts for Curtis. Strike 1, starting off the 11th. And I got a, well, not to show favoritism, but I hope Mill River wins it here because I have to figure out what to do with my book. I had 11 squares, and I'm there. And again, they show no indication of bunting, so Cornell down in the count 0-2. And Brown on deck. They did hit with Hannon last time the order came around, but I think it will be Brown this time. And that's going to be dropped. Will they get the 9-3 putout? No. And so the runner will be at first base with nobody out. And you know what I'm going to say. You're playing for one run to win the ball game. It is Brown at the plate. They're in tight at the corner with Cowdrey. She's safe, and to tell you what, that was just a well-executed play. The throw pulled her off. First and second for Mill Rivers. They buy a break there. And now Mangan up. Winning run at second base with nobody out. See if they stick with the bunt theme or if they try to bring her in on the full swing here. Showed bunt, pitch a ball. I like it. I like it. See that? They got the outfield moving around. They got the infield moving around. They're creating holes and seams now. They got the defense thinking more than they had to before. And she'll swing away and I'll be fouled out of play. So they took the bunt off and I'll make it a 1-1 count. Top of the order, Maneri, then Lee. There's nobody down. First and second. In the bottom of the 11th, Windsor all tied up with Mill River 3-3 on Munger Vision in this playoff game. And a good eye right there by Mangan as that was borderline on the corner. Teased her with it, but she wouldn't go for it. And again, Cornell down at second base. Got a lot of speed on a base hit here. Just missed inside. I'll tell you, there's a lot of strategizing going on both sides right now. Just remember, you saw this on Munger Vision. That's going to be able to play. Good job with a couple strikes on her. Mangan swung the bat very well today anyways. Like I said, she had that unofficial home run in the third, and then she singled in the sixth. So she's been seeing the ball and been getting around on it nicely. One run will do it. Mill River will advance in the playoffs if they can get a run here. That could do it. That could do it. That's going to do it. Cornell's going to come home with the winning run, and nobody's going to tell her to hold up, and Mill River will win it 4-3 in 11 innings. As Mangum continues the big bat here in this ball game, will get the winning run, the winning RBI, and Cornell will come in, and it'll be Mill River in 11 innings, 4-3. over Windsor in what was a great ball game by both sides. But congratulations to Mill River. Best of luck to you deeper into the playoffs. A great effort by Windsor. Just a great, entertaining ball game all the way around.